I'm out in the Germain-Robin distillery out in Redwood Valley, and I'm standing in the middle of this forest of tanks. They're in range inside from about 750 to 5,000 gallons. And I just want to talk a little bit about how they're put together and what we use them for. And then later on, other segments, I'll talk about some of the individual things we do, like cold stabilization or filtration. But anyway, all of these are a particular kind of stainless steel tank. It's called Type 316. I think it has more manganese in it. Regular stainless steel, which is Type 308, will not stand up to strong alcohols. If we put our brandy into a Type 308 tank, about a month later you can taste this kind of steel metallic unpleasant quality in it. So we have to pay a lot of extra money for a Type 316 stainless steel. And these tanks, most of them, are jacketed, which means they have a sort of like little hollow horizontal tube, or in this case 4 of them, running around it. And what you can do is, outside we have what's called a condenser, we call it a chiller, that takes a mix of glycol and water down to about 25 degrees Fahrenheit. The glycol keeps that from freezing, and we circulate that around the outside of the tank. And of course, the reason it's on the outside is if any of that glycol got into the brandy, it would totally ruin it all. So what you're doing is pumping the cold glycol mix around the outside of the tank to reduce the temperature of the fluid groups inside. And you can see here, this one, which is in use right now, it has tangerine vodka in it. It has 2,436 gallons of tangerine vodka that's getting ready to be bottled in about 3 weeks, and it's going through cold stabilization, but it's so cold that there's ice all over the inside of this manhole cover and all over this. You can see this is all ice because we're maintaining it at about minus 4 degrees centigrade, whatever that translates out into Fahrenheit, probably somewhere around 28%, 28 degrees Fahrenheit. So, okay, so what do we use these tanks for? Okay, we store wine in them when we're going to distill. Crispin uses them to ferment his distilling beers. He buys the malt and mixes them with water and ferments them into a beer. We use them for holding brandy that we're blending when we have very large quantities. We use them for cold stabilization, which is what this one's being used for right now. And we use them to filter. In other words, you fill up one tank with what you're going to filter and then pump it through a filter into another tank a couple of days before you're going to bottle. So that's stainless steel tanks.